So in the extensions, they have to type Python and you have to install this extension. Please take a note or the screenshot. Even the recording will be shared later. Okay. So this is a workspace. This is for new folder, new file. It should be in downward arrow to create a new folder within this existing folder. Let's say I'm saying 01 basics. And now I have to create a Python file. So for that, I will be just starting from hello.py as it's sort of like you can say a ritual or tradition that always we start by learning anything by printing hello world. So check this, here it is. Now in Python, how to do that? Print is a function. Let's give it any string. And here it goes. Okay. After this, now how to execute? Press Ctrl and J. It will give you this terminal. Now see, to execute this file, you have to go to the location of this particular file. So we will do cd 01 basics. And then we will be saying Python 004.py. Here you go. Any doubt so far? If you have any doubt, please unmute at that moment. It would be great and it will be like more interactive. That's why the live sessions are there. Now, let's do one more time. This time I'm printing hi. Okay. And now I again execute it. See? So whatever you write between the double quotes, or do you say inverted comma, that same string gets printed as it is. All fine? After that, now let's learn more about the stuff inside the Python. The next thing is comments. In Python, we write comments using pound symbol. Like this. Comments are for your notes to share your code when you are sharing your code with some third person, and that person can have the idea that what that particular set of lines of code is doing or performing. To have that clear idea, comments are provided. And let's say for yourself as well, if you look into the code, let's say after some time, and it happens that we don't remember that what exactly we were doing at that moment. So for that, you can use comments. Okay. If I say something like this. Now, if I clear my terminal and I execute this script again, what happens is comments are never executed. Only the prints are executed. Comments are like interpreter say, oh, it's a comment. It says, okay, I don't have anything to do with it. Go to the next line. So let's discuss that how your code executes line by line. My code went to the line number 1. It says, we are printing hello world. Okay, fine. It's a comment. Let's move to the next line. Then it says print hello world. Oh, we have to print. So it prints it on terminal. Then line number 3, it is a blank space. Okay. Then line number 4, comment. Let's move ahead. Line number 5, print. Let's print it out. So this is how it works. Okay. I hope you get the idea.
Uh, I do have one question. So there is no issues if we are using multiple blank lines, right?
Yeah, that's not an issue with the blank line. It says, okay, there's
Mm-hmm.
no code or nothing is written. Let's proceed to the next line.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now, if we discuss further, let's say always I have to write this thing. Are the comments only for this purpose that tell others that what your that set of code is doing? Yes, the one thing is yes. The proper, document, even commenting syntaxes are there that how the you have to comment your code. There are particular modified date, author name, who person is has written that script, and the organization name, what that script holds. Everything you have to write in the comments. Another thing is in when you will be doing development phase, at that moment comments are used for debugging in the sense that rather than deleting your code, if you want to check some set of code which is executing very well, so for that purpose you have to give a, let's say I want only hello world to be printed. I just want to see this line of output and another line of output I don't want to see. So instead of deleting it, it's better you comment them, because you may not know that later you want that particular set of code. And if you delete it at one time, it may be happen that you forget that logic. It happens a lot more time. Okay. So it's better that you comment your code. Okay. After that, now our I told you this is one line comment, means if you have to comment each line, you have to give a hash symbol. But we have one more approach, that is multi-line comments, which you can give by using triple quotes. It is a multi-line comment like this. That once you declare triple quotes, you can just write multiple stuff between them and they can be just get executed. Okay. It is one more disclaimer. It's like It is loosely said that it is multi-line comment. Okay, loosely said. Got it? Why it is loosely said, this you will get to know when we will be proceeding further and we will be discussing more stuff over here. Okay. Now, let's discuss about one more interesting concept, that is variables. So, variables are what? These are containers used to store data in the memory. So far we have learned just printing the, random strings and all that stuff. But in real time, it is not how it works. You have to store your data somewhere and then you use it at different places. Let's say if I'm making some script for the student records and we need to calculate, let's say, percentage or some student data. So it's not like again and again I'm manually going to type that particular data. We are going to store it somewhere and then use it wherever we require that particular set of data. Okay. And whenever I am talking about the memory, just to be clear, that memory is what? RAM. Whenever any program, even the VS Code or your Google Chrome, anything you open, it loads up in RAM. Okay. So RAM is what? Dynamic. This also you dynamic means that each time whatever space it finds is available, it provides that memory space to your program. Okay. This is what is happening over here. Now, how to store the data? We have to give a variable name and then assign a value to that particular variable name. Okay. Before that, here are some rules to write valid variable name. What are those? Never use a keyword as a variable name. And then next thing is a valid name consists of digits, alphabets, all capital. Python is what? Case sensitive language. So uppercasing and lowercasing are treated as two different things. Okay. And underscore. Like this. Okay. So you can't use percentage, you can't use, let's say, comma, anything. No. Okay. Never start a variable name with a digit. That let's say you have a variable name and you just can't start it like 1 2 name. But digit can be a second you can say letter in a variable name, or at last or in middle. It can be anywhere, but not at the very start. Okay. And then do not use spaces in between the variable names. The thing that you have to now do is that give as much descriptive as much possible a variable. Means do not give, let's say, a short form or something. Give a complete descriptive that that variable name only defines that what value is it going to hold. Okay. So for that, if I say I need to store someone's, let's say, what we can store. We are creating some employee and we need to store employee name. So we have to give properly. Do not say A, B, C or something, because that doesn't helps you out while debugging your code. So you have to use a proper syntax, or you can say proper conventions throughout your coding, because even what type of variable names you are using, that also matters a lot. And when you are working in the industry, you have to give proper variable names, because if you will say A is for my employee name, B is for the salary, and later you will yourself not be aware that what was A holding and what is my B is holding. Okay. So because there are so many multiple files when you work with, and there are so many different files are interacting, and there are a lot more lines of codes. At that moment, it's not valid or feasible to just give some random names. So like this, if I'm giving, I used underscore to join my two words. This type of casing is known as snake casing. Okay, this is my snake casing. And also remember that it is case sensitive. Always remember that if you are giving NAME name, this name, NAME in this manner, or NAME like this, all are different, because casing matters a lot. Okay, we do have one more type of casing, which is known as camel casing. In camel casing, how we use is, let's say if we have to give some two words are there and we have to join them. So first word is completely in lower casing, in the, let's say, imply small alphabets, and the second word's first letter is always capital, like this. Any doubts so far? That means everyone is clear. Now, even I mentioned one thing, that never use a reserve keyword as a variable name. So what are these reserve keywords? These are some of the words that Python developers have provided, and they have some predefined meaning that are your reserve keywords. So Python has very limited numbers of reserved keywords available. Okay, which are some of here, and you do not need to remember or memorize them. It's just like when you will be learning on the go, you will get to know about them. Okay, so you never give your reserved keywords as your variable names, because they already, it's not like, why? Because see, it's not, it will definitely give you error. But the other thing is that if you are using it, then already they have some predefined meaning, and then you are using it for your other purpose. So your interpreter will get confused that which one I have to go with. Correct? Yeah, got this thing? So do not use your reserve keywords over here. And how to know your reserve keywords, if you want to know it somehow, just you can type like this: import keyword, and then simply you have to say print keyword dot kw list. It's a variable in keyword. Keyword is like a Python file built by the developers, which we are just using the code over here. Oh, I have to type Python 02 variables. See, these all are the keywords, and see the first three all in caps, means the first letter should be capital. These are your reserved keywords, which you do not need to apply as your variable name. And if you try to do it, let's try. Let's say I want to use for as my variable name. Red squiggly line, what it says? Nothing much. And if I execute it, syntax error, invalid syntax, that it is not allowed to use a reserve keyword as your variable name. Okay. Fine so far? Let's use these variables now. If I have name, let's take some age. I have to use this age. So what I will say is just age without any inverted commas. Why? Because if you will give inverted commas, it is just going to print whatever is there written within those strings, within that inverted commas. But I have to give the value which is inside age, so that we get using without using the inverted comma. If I use something, let's say age, and this age is holding value 14, then this is something like a container is fixed inside my memory where I am giving the value 14. And if when I'm saying age, it goes to this container, whatever value is, it fetches out and prints it back. This is how it works. Okay. Hope it's clear.
Yes, it's clear.
One more thing, that let's say, is this the age is the one who is saying that here value is stored? No. Let's say we have house addresses in domain names, we have IP addresses. Similarly, we have memory addresses. If you will use ID is another function, it gives you the memory address. And for your system, it will be different. And if I will just shut it down and restart it, again, I will get some another memory address. Because I said it's RAM, whatever memory is freed or it is available, it will provide you that particular address. So basically, this is the address where this value is stored. But again, we can't remember this address or we can't work with it. So we give a reference name, which is age. We say age, this age goes to this memory address, and this from this memory address, it fetches the value and returns you back. This is how it works. See, even I executed next time. There are so many processes running behind the scenes. So whatever place it get that value free, it used it at that moment. Okay. So now further, if I say many of you, if anyone have some of the experience with Java or C or C++ or even Go programming language, there you use int, float, all these words before writing a variable name. That is for before declaring a variable name. Why? Because those were statically typed languages. You have two types of languages: statically typed, and another is dynamically typed. So inside the statically typed, you have to give something like this. You have to define a particular, means you have to tell that particular variable name is of which type, and you can provide that particular value only within it. Let's say if you gave some another value, you will get error. But Python is what dynamically typed. You just randomly gives the value, and it automatically interprets that what data this particular variable is holding. And it doesn't restrict me to change the value to some another type like this. Okay. This is what it means by dynamically typed.
Akshita, just a question. What if I want to strictly use it for int data type? Can I restrict that?
No, you can't, because it is
Okay.
dynamically typed. So this you have to cautiously take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If let me show you this one. See over here, age is there. Now, if I say over here, age is equal to, no, it is not stopping me because it's doesn't say that, it can't say no, age is just a reference. Interpreter will not say that age will hold only the integer data type. So now if I execute it, see, if I can give something like this, so that as a developer, you have to be the cautious one and you have to take the precautions that what values are coming in your particular variable. And for debugging, then again, you have to do various sprints. You have to do in that manner, because many times it happens that already existing code is there, but it gets break because the data types are not coming as expected. And see, the recent ones as Python is what? Interpreted, coming from top to bottom. So the latest one is now the value inside my variable age. Age is now holding what? AKS at this point. Till here it was holding 14. Till here it 14 got updated to 12.321. Now the latest one is this string. Okay. So was about your variables. With variables, one more thing comes as constants. In other programming languages, there is a keyword known as const, but in Python, again, it is not there, nothing. We have a convention for the constants, which is to give everything in the uppercase. If you have to give any value to be constant, that cannot be constant means the value whose value cannot be changed anyhow. So for that, you will be giving all uppercase, something like this.
So this value can't be overwrite then.
Let's check it out. But if I say pi is equal to 2, and now I print pi, it is not giving you any error, but it is a convention. So, Python is like bit loosely, and as a developer, you have to be a bit cautious that if you have given pi, no one is going to change. It is like a convention for all other teammates that, okay, it's in all uppercase, so it is my constant. We do not have to touch it because internally Python is not going to give you any error. Okay. So this you have to be a bit cautious. It is easy language, but due to its dynamic nature, it will not give you error. So you have to be more active and cautious while writing the codes. Okay. So today we'll be doing till here. And now the class will be on Monday because I guess on weekends there are some special